Hello there everybody, I hope everybody's doing well. It's Monday at lunchtime, Monday the 23rd of November 2009, and before I start this little snip I just want to thank everybody who's made subscriptions to my videos, and I want to thank the people who posted comments, and I try and answer all the comments if I can, even the negative ones, and just thank you very much. And that's what this is. This is a little platform, and it's nothing more than that. It's just to try and make people aware of what's going on. And obviously you can only reach a certain number of people, because that's all the people that are going to be interested, are going to go onto YouTube and look up this type of stuff. So anyway, thank you very much. The one thing that I want to raise, I'm just going to raise it today, and because unfortunately I have to throw it out, I won't have enough space on one video, so I've got to do two videos. So I'm sorry to belabor this, but that's just the way it is. I believe it's such an important subject because I believe that it's at the core of our society, and it's how we as a society, as a young republic, move forward into the future, because we have to deal with these problems. You cannot, we put these problems and swept them under the carpet for 50 or 60 years, and it's what has made us the nation that we are today. We're a nation of brown nosers, and a nation of Mayfairers, and a nation of people who don't want to face up to the reality of the type of society that we live in. And that rant was basically to do with the state is about to publish during the week, I understand, the final draft of this report into child abuse, sex abuse by the Catholic Church in the Dublin diocesan area. So that'll be the Greater Dublin area, and it's due to come out this week, from what I can understand, over the next day or two. And it was headlines in yesterday's Sunday Independent. So I put the little link down there so that you can read it. And this commission was headed up by a lady justice, a High Court justice called Yvonne Murphy, and I'm sure it was not a very pleasant task she had. So, you know, it's, what do I say about it? However, having said all that, I think that her opening couple of gambits don't augur well for her dealing with it. She basically negated right from the start that there was any evidence to support that there were paedophile rings in operation in this whole saga. Now, in order to read this report, you need a pretty strong stomach. This is pretty horrendous, vicious, evil, satanic stuff. And it's on a par with what the Nazis carried out in the labour camps that they had in Poland and in the occupied territories that they ran during the Second World War. It's on a par with that. It's horrendous stuff. The only difference between the Nazis and these lads that were conducting this campaign here in Ireland was at least the Nazis were open about it, and they wore fascist uniforms, and they had a matching ideology. These fellas hid behind crucifixes and long black gowns and claimed it was all in the name of Christ. So anyway, that's a different ball, you know. We move on from that. I would advise people, if they're going to read this article in the Sunday Independent, have a strong cup of tea or something before you do it, because as I say, it's pretty horrendous stuff. And I just want to deal in this first little video about the paedophile rings, and about the fact that this lady justice dismissed this. And all I want to say is about these paedophiles and about the whole business that went on. These paedophiles don't announce or don't stand up on the top of buildings with megaphones and announce to the world what they're about. These are devious, highly culpable, highly sinister individuals. And it's my personal belief that you cannot conduct the number of crimes and the savagery of these crimes over a period of 50 years, 50, 60 years in this state, and get away with it without there being active paedophile rings going on a huge scale. And my reasoning for it is very, very simple. The Catholic Church is not an official organ of the state. It's an adopted organ of the state, but it's the main organ of the state. It's the main propagandizing organ of the state alongside the media. And long before the media came to be prominent and of the dominant position that it holds now today in people's lives, the Catholic Church acted out that role. It propagandised everyone in Ireland. And it was, as I say, an unofficial state body. It was the most powerful state body in the whole apparatus of the state, of the establishment. And all of the people that were in the church knew exactly what their relationship with the state was. When guards or members of the state met these priests and met these officers of the church proper, like the canons and the parish priests and the bishops and the archbishops and the cardinals, they all fell on their knees and kissed their hands. This is what went on, and it still does within CERB. Just think about the Bertie Ahern muppet. Think about him. This is supposed to be a secular republic, a European republic. Anyway, the bottom line about it is, I don't want too much about this, but all I want to say is, I don't believe that it could have survived intact without collusion, direct collusion of all of the bodies, all of the state bodies that came in contact with these children. And by that I mean the courts, the guards, the education service, the health service, and all the various other services that would come in contact with these children on a day-to-day, month-to-month basis. They either turned totally blind eye to what was going on, knew what was going on and turned a blind eye to it, or knew what was going on and were involved in it, were directly involved in it. And I'll give you an example about that very, very quickly. I've put it up on the screen. Where's our screen here? Put it up on our little screen and you can have a read of it. And it's a section from The Independent. I've scanned it and you can have a read of it. And it talks about a man called Father Bill Carney. Now, I don't know who Father Bill Carney is, but obviously he's one of these leading paedophiles, struck child abusers. Okay? And it talks about, you have to listen, you have to understand this. It talks about the church and the guards. And when the matter was brought to the attention of the guards, just listen to this, and the guards started investigating the matter, and it came for the guards to go and challenge the church. It says here, the matter, this is from Yvonne Murphy, the High Court judge, this is from her report. The matter was investigated by guards, but the report is understood to reveal that the Archdiocese already had a copy of the Garda investigation file. Now, let me tell you what that means. That would have been a highly sensitive file. That would have been in a superintendent's office or a chief superintendent's office or an assistant commissioner's office. That wouldn't have been in some local Garda's back file. No. That would have been in Garda headquarters. And somebody had from the upper echelons of the Garda Síochána to make a photocopy of that and take it out and give it to the Catholic Church. And now they tell you there's no paedophile rings, there was no collusion, there was no conspiracy. There's no conspiracy. I think so. I really think so. I'm an old fella, but I'm not a fool. And I hate being treated like a fool. Anyway, we'll talk more in the second part of this.